Hey guys, it's Sam here, and only a few days ago I made the video discussing who I believed would stay and leave out of Trent, Van Dijk and Salah, and I did say in that video that it felt like Trent was gone, and today we have the announcement that I think secretly we all knew was coming, and anything else was just a Hail Mary hope in hell that wasn't gonna happen. It's been confirmed by David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano and TalkSport and other journalists now as well, that Trent to Real Madrid is pretty much done.
I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left.
They're in the final stages. The contract has been sent to Trent's camp and it's all expected to be done, confirmed. Like very, very soon. Pretty much any time from now. It's pretty much expected to be confirmed. So by the end of the week, by the end of the day, by tomorrow, it could be confirmed that he is a Real Madrid player. And yeah, I don't know. I don't feel as heartbroken in this moment as I thought I would, because I think for a while now, I think myself and I think a lot of Liverpool fans, if not all Liverpool fans, have pretty much felt that this news was coming. You know, the longer it dragged out, the fact that nothing was being said, the fact that it was all very quiet on Trent's part, yet Van Dijk's and Salah's contract situations were a lot more vocal from both player and sources as well. It was always, you know, Liverpool are still trying to extend Van Dijk and Salah, and then they'd be like, oh, and Trent. And it was like he was always the last one. When I think secretly, I think even, like, the journalists must have had information either from the clubs or from the players' camp itself that pretty much he was going to Real Madrid. He had already chosen Real Madrid. It seems like his heart had been set on it pretty much since this time last year, when it was announced that Real Madrid were monitoring his situation. I don't know, this season has felt weird from Trent. You know, Salah and Van Dijk have been as influential, if not even more, this season than they have been since they've joined, and Trent has been very, very hit and miss. A lot of mistakes that we thought he'd, you know, got rid of, that he wasn't doing anymore, he was doing them again. He's had too many. I think everyone, you know, the United game will still remember, because I don't think I've ever seen a player have that bad of a game, ever. You know, not one thing he did right. I can't name one thing he did right in that game. I can just tell you, both of United's goals were pretty much his fault. Giving the ball away too many times. I mean, all players did it. We couldn't string any part, but he was a major one that literally, I think any other player, some things did go right for them in that game. Nothing went right for him. And that doesn't seem like a coincidence at all. There was also the video of Trent's brother apparently laughing when we went 2-0 down to Newcastle in the final. That didn't look good then. Even with this news, it looks pretty much even worse. now, because it just seems like both Trent and his family don't really care anymore, and they're just set on Real Madrid. They just want out, pretty much. That's what it seemed from outside anyway. But a lot of people have reacted to this in different ways, and I knew it would, because these sort of things tend to split fan bases. You get the people that overreact and really, you know, crucify him. You know, so many people have said, don't play him for the rest of the season. You know, don't even let him be part of the title running. Don't let him even be part of the title ceremony if we win, and the parade. You know, it's all a bit extreme. You know, he has still done some good things this season that have helped us in that, so he still deserves his medal, and he still deserves to be part of this, you know, the parade and everything, if we can see this through, which we should. But I think this now possibly, I don't know if this is a good thing or not, because at least we've got confirmation on one, and I guess maybe even him, you know, he gets that confirmation as well, and that now when he does come back from his injury, he can just play with the freedom, knowing that he's gone. But then I feel like he's been doing that anyway. I feel like he's been playing like there are no consequences, because he knows he's off, you know, and that, I think that's what hits us a lot more. I don't know what's worse, him leaving, or if it's because he's leaving on a free. Obviously leaving on a free isn't necessarily his fault, because the club didn't act when it was coming down to it. You know, as soon as he reached 2 years on his deal, you know, it should have been done then and there. You know, that summer it should have been done. We should have hashed it out and extended his contract then, but we didn't, and we let this run and run, and then you let Real Madrid swoop in and convince him to join, and that's the difficult part now, is he is gone. I think we're all aware of that. It would take the biggest turn of hearts to make this not go through, and what everything is being said, it looks like that's not happening. It looks like he's wanted Real Madrid for a while, and this is done, and it's going to be done relatively soon. And yeah, that's the difficult part. But then as well, I realised I didn't I realised I jumped the gun a little bit. Yeah, like I said, there are the two fan bases. Then there are some that are kind of on my level of, you know, he's done a lot for the club. He has. I know that right now it stings, and it's raw, and emotions are running high, and people are probably going to regret what they say later down the line. I'm not one of them, because I think, of course, this feels like a betrayal. It feels like it, but the sad reality is, us Liverpool fans, we know betrayal. We do. That's the sad part of it. We've been betrayed before, and I mean, it doesn't get any easier, but you get used to it, you know? I wasn't old enough to see Michael Owen leave for Real Madrid, but I was on and remember Torres to Chelsea, Suarez to Barca, Coutinho to Barca, and yeah, I mean, the Torres one hit me the hardest because that was my first betrayal moment. Because when you love someone so much and you thought that they loved the club just as much as you did, and then they want out and they're asking to leave and they want to leave to join a big rival of yours as well in Chelsea, you know, it was hard. And then, you know, the biggest thing after that is that you got hurt more by players, and now it feels like it's just another betrayal that inevitably was going to happen. But in the end, you can't really do anything about it, you know. I think because we were all hoping, because of the Scouse connection, that he would be another Gerrard or Carragher that would spend the whole career at Liverpool and, you know, would go down as one of the biggest legends in the club's history. Does this take away from that? No. But does it tarnish his legend status a bit? Yes, it does. And, you know, you're seeing that all over Twitter now, that it's tarnishing it with people calling him all names under the sun. He's gonna get so much hate. Sadly, there are gonna be idiots that send him death threats, which is just idiotic, because at the end of the day it's football. It really isn't that deep. Like, it's not that big a deal. Like, in the end, it's just football. Like, don't get so deep about it, bro. Like, it's not that deep. But you get those idiots, and that's what's going to happen, unfortunately. I wish it didn't, but it is, and unfortunately there are going to be even more idiots that will target him for his skin colour, which is even more horrible. That's what's going to happen. And again, it's disgusting and horrible and shouldn't happen, yet it will, because they're fucking idiots. There's no other word to that. There's not even a nice... I can't think of anything nice to say about those people, because they don't deserve it. If you're going to target someone for skin colour or give them death threats just because they're going to leave your football club, like, that's mental to me. Because it's football, bro. It ain't that deep, as I keep saying. And of course it hurts. It does. Because you love your football club. You want the best players to be at your club. And the best right back in world football is about to leave our club. So, yeah, it's going to hurt. But guess what? Life goes on. Football goes on. We've been here before. Some of our biggest players have left. Guess what? The football club is still here. Does this change anything? Not really, no. Because this happens to every club. This has happened to this club many, many times before. The club is still here. Nobody is bigger than the club. If Salah and Van Dijk follow suit, yes, it's gonna hurt. But you move on. There may never, ever, ever be another Trent or another Van Dijk or another Salah. But the club goes on. Because as I said, nobody is bigger than the club. Liverpool Football Club will always be bigger than any player or manager that is there. And that is factual. Nothing can change that. And now you have to reap the horrors of the rest of this season, knowing that we only have a few more games of Trent and he's not even fit at the moment. He's targeting an April comeback. We don't know when in April. He could end up only playing 4 games left for Liverpool, or it could be early April and he ends up having a few more. But who knows? It's going to be very, very tricky and very difficult and a very sad goodbye. But, and there is a big but, there's something else that is focused on basically where the blame lies. Does the blame solely lie with Trent, or is it FSG, Richard Hughes, the whole department that are in charge of contracts and everything like that? Where is the blame truly at? And I don't really feel like that matters to me. There was something that I saw that apparently the Real Madrid contract is in excess of 220 grand a week, and he is currently on 180. So that's not a massive pay rise. So you would think Liverpool would offer him that as well. So there's clearly something more in it than financial. So, is it truly FSG's fault? Are they just being the tight bastards that they usually are? I can't see it in this thing, because, look, today, that's not a big pay rise at all. At all. It's not. In terms of what FSG can afford. Like I said in the other game, they're rich. Alright? They are very, very rich. They're not the richest, but they are very, very rich. So, that small of a pay rise isn't going to affect them in the slightest. So, in my heart of hearts, they have offered him that. They've at least matched what Real Madrid have offered. The thing is, if a player's heart is set on a move, I don't think you can do anything to switch that. I really don't. I think his family want Real Madrid as well. And this is the difference between Steve and Gerrard, for instance. Because Gerrard's family didn't want him to leave Liverpool. They wanted him to stay. It was him that wanted the move to Chelsea, that was accepting the move to Chelsea, that was going to sign for Chelsea, and then he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He loved the club too much. His family had words with him, and at least saying, you could really regret this. You should stay. It's looking like Trent's family hasn't said that. I feel like they're on like, this is your career and we'll stick. We'll support anything you want. If you want the move, we support that. If you want to stay, we support it. Anything. And I mean, it ain't the end of the world, as I said. But also, we're about to lose the best right back in the world, and that hurts. But people are automatically saying you can't replace him, and you can't. You can't replace him for like, because there is no one like him. He's one of the best passers in world football, period, and he's a right back. Like, you are never going to see a right back with the ability that he has ever again. And we have been blessed to see him play for us for as long as we have. And of course we wanted it to be a lot longer. In the end, it seems like his heart is in Madrid. He wants the move, whether it's to be with Jude. You know, I mean, we know that they're very close friends, so the ability to play with him on a regular basis, you know, that's of course probably a factor in it. But I think one of the biggest ones is probably to test himself. He wants to test himself in a different league, in a different country, and that's all power to him. You know, you can respect that. I think on a at least professional level, you can respect that, because I think everyone, no matter what their job is, wants to be tested. They want to prove that they can do something that maybe other people said they couldn't, or they want to see how they will do in something that is completely out of their comfort zone. A lot of people, you know, go through this, they go through the, not death wish, bucket list, fucking hell, and a lot of people on that, you know, choose skydiving, for instance, or bungee jumping. They want to test themselves, or they want to do something that, you know, pushes them to their limit or out of their comfort zone. And definitely for somebody like Trent, who has been at Liverpool since he was 6, I think it is. You know, he's a Scouser, he's born in Liverpool, raised in Liverpool. This is big for someone like him, to move to Madrid, to test himself at the biggest club in sports history, not just in football, in sport. I think if you go anywhere around the world and tell them to name any sports club, Real Madrid will be the first name 99% of them will say. You know, they're massive. You know, they had so many legends of the club, and you just, I mean, imagine going down that Real Madrid hall and seeing all those faces, seeing all the pictures, seeing all the trophies. You know, the most decorated club in history. They're definitely the most decorated European, because they won the most European Cups. I think 13 or 14, which is mental. I don't think anyone's even close to them. Like, it's crazy. It is. And who wouldn't fancy the chance to test themselves at a club like Real Madrid, you know? So you can't really... I can't personally knock that, but I can knock the fact that there have been times where, you know, I think a lot of people have put the video out of him in the interview where he said that he could see himself playing his whole career at Liverpool, that he had never thought about playing in Spain or Germany because he was playing for Liverpool, the club he loved, the club he supported, and that thought had never crossed his mind. And it's sad to see that now, very clearly, that thought has crossed his mind, and it looks like he is going. Of course, things change, and your thought processes change, your wants change. It doesn't make it any easier. Like, I'm putting this other, you know, I'm taking my Liverpool biased hat off here, trying to get in the mind of Trent, pretty much. And yeah, as hard as that is, you can see, as I just mentioned, the laws of Real Madrid. Not many players turn down Real Madrid. And that's what makes Steven Gerrard very, very special. Because he did that. He turned down Real Madrid. Yeah, he was going to join Chelsea, but then ended up turning them down. He's turned Inter Milan down. He turned so many clubs down. When Liverpool were in the shit, we were not good at all. We were dog. We were nowhere near challenging for titles. We were nowhere near challenging for trophies. Yet that man stayed with us, and Trent is going to leave possibly with a second Premier League medal. Like, there is a difference in the squad that both of those players have played in, and I think that's what makes this harder, because you're like, we are competing, we're possibly about to win a title, and then you're gonna leave on that. Like, they do sometimes say, you know, it's better to leave on a high than on a sad note. Well, this might not be that case, because you think about how devastated we were when Jurgen Klopp left and the send-off we gave him. The sad thing is, Trent ain't gonna get that, because this feels like a betrayal, because it is. And he's going for free, and he's been negotiating with Real Madrid for a lot longer than January, it seems. At least he's been negotiating since January, because that's when he could, but it seems like he's had quite a few conversations before that, and seemed like he had his heart set on moving anyway, so anything Liverpool tried to get him to sign was never going to happen, because he'd already chose to leave. And it's hard, but as I said, nobody is bigger than the club. And this, you know, it was only a few days ago that the rumours about Jeremy Frimpong were happening, and now it looks like there was definitely a reason for that. It definitely seemed like that was a bit interesting, considering at the time nothing had really come out. We were still hoping. I mean, it was around kind of the same time that news were coming that Liverpool was still trying to get Trent to sign. It wasn't necessarily financial. He wanted to make sure the club would still be competitive, would compete for trophies. He wanted to see what potentially the summer business looked like, players to bring in. I feel like that was all bullshit. That seems like it was just a bullshit thing to come out from journalists, because they already knew what was happening anyway. And I think maybe Liverpool just said, look, put some shit out. Who knows? But it seems like bullshit now, because only a few days later do we find out that their agreement is close. That's not happened in a few days. Not a chance. Because Liverpool will be competitive. We all know that. So that seems, right now, like it was bullshit. So, who knows? But, yeah. I think that's where we can pretty much leave that. On the fact that it looks like we have lined up the replacement already it looks like it is going to be Jeremy Frimpong. Having him and Bradley, I like it. I do. Of course, we all wished it was Trent. Not happening. So you move on. You look for the replacement. Frimpong, very, very talented, very, very good. So we take it. You know, Connor Bradley's a very good backup. I don't think he's ready to be a starter yet. So having him as an understudy again to someone also as, you know, someone that's also very, very good, can only help Connor Bradley in the future as well. So that is it. Thanks so much for watching. Trent is off to Real Madrid. And yeah, it hurts. But as Liverpool fans, we're used to it. If you enjoyed, please have a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I lost my ways, no words to say. You're on my mind, and time flies by. I'm cutting down the wires, I'm feeling kinda tired. I think I lost myself, I think I lost it all. You know it's true, I've been thinking about you. You made me feel so safe right when you told me you were mine. But I'm too late, I can't undo my mistakes. The time's run out and I'm left standing wet here in the rain. The same cloud hanging over my head. God, I wish you were here to save me from myself.